45% of black voters in South Carolina are with Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders is second at 13%. You see the numbers here.
Did you see that? If you blinked your eye, you might have missed it. So let's take a look at that again.
45% of black voters in South Carolina are with Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders is second at 13%. You see the numbers here.
That was CNN host John King missing what should have been the big story on today's Inside Politics. The story about how Pete Buttigieg, one of the upper tier candidates, he's number 4 overall, got 0% black support in South Carolina. Of course, the reason is black people hate Pete Buttigieg. It turns out his first act in office was firing a popular African-American police chief. So why did John King miss that? Because his attention was elsewhere. If you watch today's Inside Politics, they are focused almost entirely on one thing and one thing only. Can you guess? Well, of course, if you guessed impeachment obsession, you'd be exactly right. And one of the interesting things about today's Inside Politics, while obsessing totally about impeachment, is they pretty much avoided talking about the phone transcript at the center of all this, the phone transcript of the conversation between the Ukrainian president and President Trump. And why would they sort of avoid talking about that? Well, you know what? Gayle King and Paula Reed of CBS will give you the answer when you see their reaction to reading that transcript.
There still is not an explicit quid pro quo here. So
exactly.
Is this a big bowl of nothing?
I agree with you completely. There's no quid pro quo. There's no explicit promise or threat here.
That's right. As they said, it was a big bowl of nothing, and there was no quid pro quo. So what is the Inside Politics panel, which, by the way, if you notice, there's nobody there to defend Trump at all on that panel. But what were they focused on? Not the transcript. No, they were focused on the whistleblower report. But you notice one thing they don't mention to you, that early in August, they changed the whistleblower rules. Before, the whistleblower had to have first-hand information. They had to witness themselves an impropriety. But those rules were quietly changed in August so that the whistleblower can blow his whistle based on second-hand information from what he heard from somebody else. And you know what another term for second-hand information is? Rumor. So what we're seeing here is CNN Inside Politics and all the liberals on TV and in Congress going crazy over a rumor, second-hand information. Now, do you want to see an example of somebody delivering second-hand information about the phone conversation between Trump and the president of the Ukraine? Let's watch Adam Schiff deliver his interpretation, his second-hand information. He could be a whistleblower, maybe, of what transpired in that phone call. Let's take a look.
And so what happened on that call? Zelensky begins by ingratiating himself, and he tries to enlist the support of the president. He expresses his interest in meeting with the president and says his country wants to acquire more weapons from us to defend itself. And what is the president's response? Well, it reads like a classic organized crime shakedown. Shorn of its rambling character and in not so many words, this is the essence of what the president communicates. We've been very good to your country, very good. No other country has done as much as we have. But you know what? I don't see much reciprocity here. I hear what you want. I have a favor I want from you, though. And I'm going to say this only 7 times, so you better listen good. I want you to make up dirt on my political opponent, understand lots of it, on this and on that. I'm going to put you in touch with people, and not just any people. I'm going to put you in touch with Attorney General of the United States, my Attorney General, Bill Barr. He's got the whole weight of the American law enforcement behind him. And I'm going to put you in touch with Rudy. You're going to love him, trust me. You know what I'm asking, and so I'm only going to say this a few more times, in a few more ways. And by the way, don't call me again. I'll call you when you've done what I asked.
And of course, Adam Schiff completely blew it. We all know. He later he was called on it. So now watch as Adam Schiff sheepishly gives a real lame excuse about why he completely, actually, let's call it what it is. He lied about what was in the phone call.
Aside, I want to mention that my colleague is right on both counts. It's not okay, but also my summary of the President's call was meant to be at least part in parody. The fact that that's not clear is a separate problem in and of itself. Of course, the President never said, if you don't understand me, I'm going to say it 7 more times. My point is, that's the message that the Ukraine President was receiving in not so many words.
Oh, it was just a parody. It was a parody. Don't you get it? Don't you see the humor? No, he was dead serious. When you saw him first relate what his secondhand information, his whistleblower. Yeah, you could be a whistleblower, Adam. He was dead serious. He only apologized and pretended it was a parody when he was called on it. So the big news here of Inside Politics today is that John King, in his obsession for impeachment based on secondhand rumor from a whistleblower, missed what should have been a big, huge story. I mean, a major Democrat candidate has zero support from black voters. So congratulations, John King. And let's take a look again at you completely blowing it and missing what should have been the big politics story of the day.
45% of black voters in South Carolina are with Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders is second at 13%. You see the numbers here. 45% of black voters in South Carolina are with Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders is second at 13%. You see the numbers here. 45% of black voters in South Carolina are with Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders is second at 13%. You see the numbers here.